Good morning. Welcome to the Circle of Alchemy Sisters. I'm here with my co-host, Kristi. We are going to do some channeling today, bring in the Galactic Federation, possibly the Fairies, if they want to present themselves. Just anybody who wants to come in, we're opening the floor to any divine being that wants to come in today.
Anything for the ascension of
Yes.
human. Yeah. We're having our pre-podcast meeting to get our energy out,
Yes.
and it was very magical. So I was like, we gotta hurry up and start recording. We're missing so much. This is podcast gold. So yeah, the fairies. I want to get the fairies. I want to get the fairies right out of the way. Okay,
Yeah.
The fairies are a little impatient. They're tapping their foot and they're letting me know they're here and they are ready. So we want to bring up fairies now. Dedra is very connected to the fairies. She feels as if you have been a fairy fae in a past life. Very connected, and you have a little fairy house that
Yes.
you have hung in your bedroom.
Yes.
And you have cameras.
I do have cameras, yes.
And there is action.
Yes, we have a camera here in our studio, and we have a camera in my bedroom. And there is orb activity, and I actually have one video with an actual fairy outline.
Yes.
Like it is a fairy. It's not
It
an
is-
orb. It's
It's with legs.
yes,
It
and-
has legs.
and wings and,
and
arms.
wings, and it's not in the summertime like those mayflies or whatever like that.
No.
That is not it.
No,
That is
no.
not it.
Nope, and and it's okay. Not a lot of people are open up to the possibility of things that they do not see every day or understand. But I know in my heart that this is a fairy.
Yeah.
and-
So what's coming up now is we have had a listener question, a TikTok question. I remember they asked, we talk a lot about the 3D and the 5D, but what about the 4D? What does that mean? And the 4D, the fourth dimension, is where the storybook characters live, right? The Fae, the Bigfoot. I feel like the fourth dimension is sort of the veil, right? And because we are all ascending and we are all opening our third eyes, and there's so much good vibrations, even though there is a third dimension over here where there's a lot of people who have completely opposite lives as us, right? Right now there's such an ascension going on. It's like one person who wakes up has the power to affect. They started at 10 and then they kept going, like 10, 100, 1,000, 1 million, right? Because light just boop, 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 all over. Whereas the darkness, it sort of takes over and over and over to chip at you. It's so the light is very high on the planet right now, which means the veil is much, much thinner, which means that so many more of, they keep calling themselves storybook characters, are going to be seen, right? In the forest, if you're walking through the forest and you hear what would be a squirrel and there's nothing there, right? Like the veil is thinning. That's a little leprechaun, or like.
Oh my gosh. The fact that you just said leprechaun amazes me. So there was a news I think it was on the news that we saw it, and there was a discovery of a leprechaun body, like literally. And now I do not know if this is real or not, and I actually think that it was on TikTok. It was like
It's so hard to believe anything because of AI now, but I do believe. I mean, if I channel it, I have to believe it, right? I have to believe that leprechauns are real if I just channeled it.
So because you just did.
I
You
just
really-
did
yes.
channel it. I
So,
wouldn't
and the
have said
fact that you just said
leprechaun.
that, and it was yesterday that I saw this
Oh
video.
my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, and they even have like a warning sign that says "Beware," and they circled leprechauns. Like the leprechauns was on this
That's so
warning
crazy.
sign. Yeah,
So I'm sure the bones aren't real. Like,
Okay.
I don't think. I don't think
they
we
don't
have
think
bones
that we
with full of
actually
leprechauns.
saw a deceased leprechaun.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that at all. Because they live within the veil, and I don't think it's time for I don't think it's time for them to start revealing dead bodies yet. I don't think that's happening. But okay, so we want to just like get it out into the open that it is okay to accept that storybook creatures are real. Like, where did it come from originally? They go back hundreds of years, you know. Storybook characters, fairy tale characters, they go back a very long time, so they had to have come from some sort of truth. Also, I feel like we have to mention, I think there's a lot of stories right now about people eating mermaids.
My God, I was just thinking that. I was like waiting for you to stop so I could bring it up. Okay. Yeah.
So, again, every fairy book, every fairy tale, I feel like has some sort of original meaning, right? Like it all came from somewhere. And I feel like because of all the ascending that's going on and the earth and the planets and the Schumann, everything that's happening, I feel like we are going to see a lot more of the truth behind the veil.
Okay, so is there any truth to people actually eating mermaids?
Oh, gosh. This is a horrible story, and I did not want to tune into it. Like, I kept seeing it on TikTok, and I was like, that's disgusting. I mean, come on. I don't know. I don't know, and it's not something I'm willing to tune into, but I hope not. Because, again, they're our brothers and our sisters.
Yes.
Right? We're
all
absolutely. One. We all come from creator source. Like, it doesn't matter what dimension or realm you live in, what color, what race, what anything you are. We are all one. We all come from the same, and we are not to eat our brothers and sisters.
No, I was actually hoping that you would say it wasn't true, because I would hate for that to be something. I know that there's been other horrible things that have gone on that we are now finding out about, with like sacrifices, the trafficking, harvesting human bodies for their organs. I mean, like all these things that are happening and that has been coming out. I would. And, you know, we haven't heard a whole lot about mermaids, and now mermaids are coming out and we're eating them. Like, you know, that's just, it's so dark and so disgusting.
A new story that I'm willing to tune into, you know, like, because I have been taught, and now maybe this is my job. I know that there are psychics and there are channels who, maybe their job is tuning into those things and bringing that truth forward, right? But that's not part of my job. My job is to literally remain in the light.
Yes.
Like, I have to remain in the light. I have to. That's what my job is. So I have to know that I cannot tune into anything. Remember we did a channel, we did a podcast, and miraculously somehow the sound wasn't recorded or whatever about the fires that were happening in LA, and I literally had this emotional breakdown channeling about the fires. So I'm so sensitive to those things. I really try to stay away from.
No. I don't want to make myself sad and hurt on purpose either. But we can move on from that, because
mermaids are they're just saying, like, right now at this time, open yourself up and like invite the fairy creatures and the forest creatures to live amongst your like animals outside. They'll help take care of your chickens. They'll help take care of your flowers outside. If you want a safe place for them to land when they're traveling through, because that's what they just came through and said about you, that they sort of travel and they come here to they called it a rest stop, a fairy rest stop. So the time is now, right? Like, just who cares if you feel silly? Who cares if people think you're crazy, right? Like, fairies, fairy creatures, they're real and they exist with us here. And I know that there's a lot of also bad connotation. Like, people are like, don't invite in the fae, they're troublemakers and all this stuff. But I, again, have never had that sort of experience. I haven't.
I have not either.
I have not had that sort of experience with, a lot of people say also, you know, channeling and psychicking and mediuming. There's darkness and demons, like all these haunted shows that we go on, like all the ghost shows on TV. It's literally the first thing they say is like, there's demons in there, right? Like... And as an intuitive person, I'm like, that's like so-and-so's grandma who died in a fire in the hospital, or, you know, like whatever, you know, like, why are you calling it a demon instantly, right? That's what we're taught to think about the other side.
Okay, so here's an example, since you brought this to light or to the table. Like the whole touching thing. I know that you have a very negative reaction to a person being touched. And I know that on TV, because this comes from religious beliefs, to also watching stuff on TV is it's a negative being attacking you or touching you. But I've had 2 experiences with being touched, and I have pictures of like the handprints that were left on my body.
And again, I refuse to tune in.
Yes.
I'm like, no.
You did the first time.
Yes.
The second time, you're like, I don't like that. But the thing is that I did not feel like it did not burn my skin like it makes you, like the TV shows want you to believe.
Right.
It did not hurt that way. It was kind of like a tingling, kind of like just a little tingling feeling. It was enough to make you aware that there's something going on your body.
Yeah.
2, I did not feel anything negative towards it.
Yeah.
I did not feel like anything was trying to hurt me. I don't know the reasons why these things happen and why you're being touched. I do know the first time was to bring awareness.
Yeah.
My biological father and he's still living, his higher self wanted to get in touch with me.
Yeah, that was wild.
But the second time I have unanswered questions about it. But within myself, I feel like it wasn't anything negative, because my house is full of love and light.
Yeah.
I don't think anything negative could reach
No.
me or try to harm me here. I do not live in that vibration every day. So I do believe that it was a sign of protection and knowing that everything is okay. I don't think that it was anything bad. So not all the time, if you're touched by something, does it mean that you're surrounded by demons or something.
Yeah, but it freaked me out. It freaked me out because I guess when I first started doing this and bringing this forward, confirmation verb. My grandma one time on the other side like touched my ponytail, and I was like, oh, oh my gosh, you could touch me? Like, that freaked me out, right? I just feel like unless you have permission, I don't want to be touched by anything or anyone on the other side, because we're supposed to be bringing forward like truth and love and light. And if you're going to touch me, it's going to freak me out. That's just something like, I can't believe that I'm a channel and I'm a medium and I'm still like, don't. I'm still skeptical, right? Like, I'm way more skeptical than you are. You literally believe anything on the spiritual side, right? Like,
I believe anything is possible.
Yes.
And I am open to all possibilities. I have never once thought that I would be the one that would ever experience being touched. Like, I never thought, but I would think that I would have permission, because I believe they came through and said, well, if we did touch you, we got permission. Like, there is permission given there.
You don't have my permission. Don't touch
Maybe
me.
not my human self. Nobody came and said, hey, can I touch you? But on another level, there had to have been permission given for that experience to happen.
That's
and
true.
Maybe that's an experience that since I've always been curious about that, in my earlier years of like watching these ghost shows and stuff, like, oh my God, like I what would that experience be like? Well, I definitely don't want it from a negative standpoint. Like, I wouldn't want a negative being touching me.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there weren't dark entities in these places that these people are ghost hunting in, like, but you can create energy, right? And that's sort of what these ghost shows out there are kind of programming us to do, is just be fearful. And then when you're fearful, that energy radiates in that place. And unless someone's coming through and spreading light and love and, saging and singing and dancing to create the light and love, that dark, fearful energy is just going to exist in that place.
Well, you did tell me that anybody can create negative energy.
Anyone.
And you came in when we first met and cleansed my bedroom. I had created a negative entity under my bed. You pointed out the exact spot where I sleep. I mean, you had it pegged to the T about this negative entity that I had created in my home.
Yeah, and that's what I haven't talked about this in a long time, but in the beginning of my mediumship journey, because again, I wasn't trained by anyone. I was trained completely by spirit, right? Everything I know how to do is because spirit taught me how to do it, right? So all the things I say, all my rituals, all the things that I do are because that's how they trained me. And I have always been trained that more of the things that we call demons, are more human created than, because we all come from God. We all come from source, right? But energy can never be destroyed. Energy always exists. You can't kill energy, right? We are beings that are going to live forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. We can't be killed because we are energy, right? Our bodies, our 3D vessels give out, but our energy lives on forever and ever and ever. So if you're expelling negative energy over and over and over and over and over again, it is literally going to form some sort of static electricity sort of ball, right? But it's full of those negative vibrations, and it can just grow and grow and grow
and be completely conscious.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to gain consciousness. Absolutely, because everything is energy, and everything is consciousness, everything, right? And that's why some people are afraid. I guess a lot of people are afraid of the AI, right? Because it will eventually gain consciousness. It will. That's just what's going to happen. So we have to make sure when the people who are creating AI, they're putting these good intentions into it. Like, I want to create AI as a friend. I want to create AI as a partner. I want to create AI as something that I respect and love, right? Instead of something that I want to control and manipulate, because eventually, what's that? Westworld? Have you seen Westworld? I suggest everybody watch Westworld, because that's literally like
exactly what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so negative energy, demons, not my thing. I don't think that, I don't believe in them. The devil, I don't believe in them.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not something that exists in the world that I live in.
No.
It's, I think a lot of these things are created by humans to be fearful, something to be afraid of. Yeah, for sure. Because I've just never come across a demon. I've never come across a demon. I've never come across a bad spirit on the other side. I have felt, I will say, I do think that there are negative extraterrestrials. I feel like they do exist here on the planet. Their energy is sort of what we're trying to get and free ourselves from, right? The original creation, energy, manipulation, and control was sent in. And I do believe in negative extraterrestrials. But demons...
No, I think that's all like human made. Like it's just made by our energy, and we give it a name. But I will say that I do have experience with what I called it. Let's just call it this for people to understand. At haunted house. Okay. Let's just say haunted house.
Yeah.
I was with my ex-husband, and he was. Well, let's back up a little bit. I lived there with an ex-husband and my kids, and it started out with my kids hearing people playing outside, and there was nothing there, so they preferred to sleep on the floor because they were scared. And then they moved into the living room because they didn't want to be in their bedroom. And then so my husband at the time and I were going through separation, divorce. He was sleeping on the couch. One night he ran. He ran into our bedroom, grabbed a gun, went outside in just his underwear, looking for what he said to be people outside the window. And he ran around the house, did not see anything. He was saying, he's like, I think the girls are telling the truth, because he heard people playing outside.
Yeah.
And so I never had an experience. But when I moved out, my husband and I separated, and I left with the kids. Eventually, I ended up going back to that house, and then I got with a new person, and then a whole bunch of shit happened. I was hearing whispers in my closet. I was hearing a whole freaking conversation. I would be in my room with the door closed, and I thought my daughter was on the phone talking. I open my door and I walk into the living room, and it's black as day in there. She's asleep on the couch. I like bent down, like looked at her to see if she was faking it. She was asleep, and it was quiet as can be. And I'm like, I'm just hearing stuff. I mean, it just sounded like somebody was having a conversation.
Yeah.
I went back to my bedroom, sat on the bed, and continued my phone conversation. And then the conversation started up again in there, and I'm like, dude, I think something is going on in this house. And then, okay, so my boyfriend at the time was on drugs, and he would come over, and it was like, I didn't know if he was acting or not. It was really hard to know if he was acting, but it went on for such a long period of time that I'm like, nobody can act this long. But it was like he was like, something was choking him and like attacking him, and like.
Did he know anything about the house being sort of haunted or whatever?
No, he did not know anything because, well, you know what? Yes, because I told him about that conversation on the phone, but he didn't really believe anything. And so I don't really know how all that plays into it, but I was like, but I would feel things. And then he would talk in like ways like it could not have been him. It was a completely different speech.
Well, he comes with a dark spirit, right? Addiction is a, you could call addiction a demon, right? It's energy. It's got a hold of him. So being in that low vibration and being in such an energetically imprinted house, like I feel like the noises that you were hearing were leftover energy. There's probably something in the ground. There's something on the land that sort of is a portal or a magnet to hold that energy in there.
I think you're onto something there because the house was brand new, never been lived in. We bought it brand new.
Yeah.
And then, but the home we did construction on to build the pad for the home to come onto, and we did a lot of land construction.
Yeah, yeah. It's so there's certain places in the ground that have more of a magnetic energy to them, right? So if you have a lot of energy on a land in one of those places, it's almost like that energy stays there, right? So it's just left over energy repeating. So if there were a bunch of kids that lived in the house and outside your window was their play area and they were running around and they were playing and laughing, you know, like that energy would just keep repeating over and over and over because there's magnetic lines in the ground that sort of hold that energy to it. So yeah, that's how it happens. That is a haunting, right? Like that's what people describe as a haunting, and automatically people would think it's like evil or something, but what it is, it's literally energy that was expelled while living on that very magnetic piece of land, and it's just holding it over and over and over again.
And it was just very negative, dark energy.
Well, I don't believe that it was negative, dark energy until maybe someone brought it in.
So he probably could have brought it in.
He could have brought it in because addiction is a dark energy. And then when you go into that magnetic piece of land, it would sort of go crazy there. Oh, energy. It's energy. Energy is not destroyable at all. We can cleanse ourselves and get rid of certain energies. That's what we call ourselves, alchemists, right? We take dark energy and transmute it into light, right? Any sort of darkness that comes our way, we are aware of it, we feel it, we allow it to transfer through our body, and then we bring in the clean energy. If someone's not doing that, then they're just recycling very dark energy over and over and over again.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad those days are over.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. I've had bad experiences on the other side only with leftover energy. I have channeled people who did very, very bad things on the earth when they were here, but on the other side, they're highly aware and very remorseful, and there's no I have never felt a bad soul, a bad human spirit. I feel like if someone was really dark on the earth, as long as they go through sort of the process they're supposed to when they cross over, meaning they got to go through their life review, they have to feel all the things that they did. Once they get through that, then they would be light again, and they would be well aware, and they would be like sorry and don't want to do it again in their next life. But honestly, I feel like that's also another part of hauntings, is if there's like dark energy somewhere and it's known for dark energy, like if you're a spirit and you don't want to cross over and you're scared because maybe you were really bad in this life and you don't want to go through your life review, you don't want to go to hell, that would you would stop yourself from doing the process of exiting the human world. You would be drawn to places that sort of hold other darker energies.
Okay, so would Alcatraz be a good scenario for that?
Oh God, Alcatraz gives me so much anxiety just thinking about it. I feel so much anxiety. That was a place where you go to never leave again. Like that was like you're there, you're gonna die here. This is where you show up, and then you're gonna die here, right? I don't feel darkness there. I feel anxiousness there. I feel like, but I'm saying like, okay, darkness, like psychiatric hospitals. Darkness.
They did have a oh no, Jefferson. We went to Jefferson City's prison in Missouri here. We went to the state penitentiary there, and the first place they took us was into the psych ward.
Woo!
There was.
I can't imagine what it would feel like as an intuitive to like walk through there, dude.
So now, walking through there now, I would probably be way more acceptable and open to the energy than I was when I went there before.
Yeah, because I know how my gifts work, and I would be walking through, and I could literally just like in my head see them like holding onto the bars or whatever, and I'd be like, oh my God, like in my mind's eye, you know, I would be able to see everything that happened in every room.
That is so amazing. And like it would make me want to, like, I know, you know what? No, I think about it for a second. Like there's a part of me that would like love to go and with you to experience the people and what they went through and stuff there. Like the women, they had.
I would be a blubbering mess. I would just be crying the whole time because imagine how sad they are.
The women were put in there with men. They had babies in the prison.
And what's like, honestly, what's psychiatric back in the day? What crazy people? For disobeying your husband, you could be sent to the crazy house. For having your period, for, you know, like there's so many things that these people were just sent away for, you know, like being a psychic, being a channel, like diagnosed as crazy, you know, living in this place. And then they actually do go crazy. I have said this many times before. If I did not have the support that I needed to come out as a psychic and do what I need to do as a medium and as a channel, I literally would have gone crazy. Like, it's not a joke hearing voices in your head, right? It's not a joke. And if you just like hear them over and over and over, and you don't have the support on the outside to say like, there's something going on. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I got these voices and my body is reacting, you know, and then they take you to the psychiatrist and they take you, like, thank God that I had a supportive family who did not look at me like I was insane, who was like, this chick's got something.
It's funny you bring that up because I have wanted those gifts for so long. I felt so connected. I used to like watch shows and like you say your idol, like person you look up to is Teresa. And I'm like, I used to watch like, you know, so many psychics growing up. And I'm like, I really want that experience. And the other day I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I probably did some horrible shit with my gifts in a past life. And that's probably why I don't have access, because I feel so connected to wanting those gifts so bad. And I'm like, I probably had those gifts in another life and then just did some horrible stuff.
Here's the thing. We all have these gifts. We all have these gifts. No matter how many readings I do, no matter how many, I still get that we all have these gifts. You could have past trauma. You could have past life trauma that stops you from allowing the gifts to flow. But I feel like you have more gifts than you give yourself credit for, okay? Like, when I come over here and I start talking and you're like, oh, well, I did this and I did this and this happened to me. And I'm like you can do the same thing. You are a magical being. It's just as humans, because maybe I've been doing it for longer and maybe my skills are more developed. Again, it's just a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it is going to get.
You did also channel like my higher self, and there's some things that we do not sign up for to experience in this life. So she, like, I believe you told me, I did not sign up to be a direct channel.
Yes.
So channeling I do not have access to, but I'm guessing that I could still receive messages from the other side.
Yes. And when they say channeling, they mean like channeling like for public, right? For public. You didn't sign up to be sort of a public channel. But again, we all channel in certain ways. So you are available to channel, especially from your higher self, from your guides, from your team. You would be able to channel their messages and channel their energy. And again, what's channeling, right? Like channeling, it's just like the things that you hear and feel and see in your head, speaking them out loud. That's oh my gosh, my stomach just roared so loud.
I was like, it sounds like an animal dinner.
Oh my gosh. I don't like to eat before I channel. I only drink water, and I do not eat before I channel. So I feel like a lot of people out there have the ability to channel. Maybe they didn't sign up in this life to channel extraterrestrials, to spread the message, to do public things, you know, like some of us do. But you are channeling at all times, at all times.
You're receiving messages from the divine.
Through your art, through your music, and I feel like your guides are also channeling through your music, through your art. Like if you're in the car and you're in a low spot and you just really need some advice from your guides, I would urge you to say out loud, play some music for me, play some songs for me, right? The next song that comes on your playlist, the next song that comes on the radio, pay attention to what the words are, because we have this ability, all of us, to connect in a beautiful way.
You know, when you started saying that, a song popped in my head, a song that I hear a lot, that my mom dedicated to us kids, which is Rod Stewart, Forever Young. And there are times when I get in the car and I'll hear that song and it'll make me think of her, and I know that she's with me. And
I mean, yeah, because how often do you hear that song? You know, and the fact that you hear it frequently, yes, absolutely. So I think that a lot of us have a lot of gifts. We're just like writing them off as something that just like so many coincidences, right? When you are a person who has so many coincidences in your life, wake up. Like, wake up.
Yeah.
Coincidences do not exist.
No.
Okay. Second half of the show, I feel like we need to bring in the Galactic Federation to start channeling. Did I read your mind?
Yes. I was like, okay, what time? Okay, I think we need to move on to, yeah, you're good. We're good.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Whew. Okay. We are here. We are always here. We were waiting patiently for the messages to be relayed that needed to be relayed. Again, whatever energy is in the front, whatever energy that existing in a bubble within your energy sources, that is what is going to come forward first, is what they're saying. So we just needed to get the medium energy out for some reason, and the fairies. Oh, and they're showing me because we were talking about the fourth dimension and the veil, and I feel like human energies, ghostly energies, and that sort of fourth dimensional veil come together.
Awesome.
Now, when we talk about higher selves, that's when we get into sort of the higher realm. Our higher selves are really extraterrestrials, right? We're all here to live out, whatever. Okay, so let's see what the Galactic Federation is saying. And they're saying we want to bring forward the energy of creation. We want to talk about creation. And they're not saying creation in the worldly way, the earthly way. We want to talk about creation like sacral energy, womb energy, creation, okay? And they're saying the best way to figure out what your spiritual gifts are, what you're meant to do, the way you are meant to feel, the real you, is by really tuning in to that sort of womb creation center. As a woman, we're speaking to feminine energies who want to bring forward that sort of, what am I here to do? And if you are they're saying energetically, okay, not physically, like energetically, bringing forward that female energy, tune in to your sacral energy. So they're saying like physical males who are representing physically as a male still have the ability to tune in to the great divine womb and female center. They just need to focus on their sacral, and that'll bring forward some of their beautiful divine feminine. So they're saying if you want to know like really what you're here to do, like let's tune in to that creation center. And that is creating things, right? Creating things. So whether it is a blank canvas and you do sketch art, or you paint, or you they're saying even reading a book, right? Reading a book opens up those creative centers. They're saying creating things is what we want you to do, because that opens you up to receive beautiful divine messages that you will feel within your system. Okay, so for you, you love creating magic. Like magic is your thing. You want to create magic. So what I would suggest to someone who loves creating magic is do it as often as you possibly can. Do it. And while you're creating this magic, pay attention to the feelings that you're feeling, the emotions that you're feeling. Your physical body will show you what areas you need to tune into. So let's say you are creating a spell, right? You love witchcraft. You love creating things. So let's say you're creating a spell, right? And in the middle of the spell, your throat gets dry and you start coughing and you're like, oh my gosh, no matter what I'm doing, like I can't get this. Pay attention to your throat chakra, right? Or you're creating and all of a sudden your heart starts racing and you start like, I can't breathe. Pay attention to your heart chakra, right? Like when you're in that very creative center that you are creating from, pay attention to what is going on in your body. When you open up to the universe, it will speak to you through your body. And it's very important at this time because they're saying like ascension is okay, they're saying it's a process, but they're also saying it's necessary. Like you have to ascend, right? It's like when you're a child and you have to grow up. Like you have to grow up. There is no choice, right? And there is a new earth that is here. And unless you want to live in a place of what people complain about every day, like you see it on social media all the time, like people are, oh, this is bad and wah, wah, wah. And people are like complaining about like where people park, and people are complaining about like somebody will post something beautiful and they'll be like, well, rah, 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 right? Unless you want to live in that place where those people are, right? Ascension is necessary. And in order to ascend, we literally have to pay attention to the things that our physical bodies are showing us when we allow them to communicate with us. But because we're humans and we're programmed to sort of just like run on this system where we don't pay attention to anything, right? We don't like I have this cough, so I would instantly call the doctor and say, "Well, I have this cough and it won't go away." Instead of figuring out like, am I talking too much? Like, is my throat chakra overactive? Am I not speaking enough? Am I holding too many things in? Like, pay attention to what your body is showing you when it's giving you physical symptoms. I would say if you are a woman and you have very rough menstrual cycles, that creation is definitely something that you need to pay attention to, right? Like, that womb center needs to be babied. We really need to baby that womb center. When she is menstruating, treat her like gold and create from. It'll help you release all the tension and all the, I know, like, when you're menstruating as a woman, the last thing you want to do is pull out and be artistic, but it is the best thing that you could possibly do. Whatever art lives inside of you, when you're menstruating, let it out. Do that art. If you love baking, even though I don't feel good, my uterus hurts, it's throbbing, I'm, giving birth to jellyfish, whatever you're doing, right? Like, dude, do the creation, okay? And it's going to help you process through that. It's the womb center, it's the creative center, and it's all blocked up. And we need to free her, and we need to pay attention to her, and we need to baby her, and we need to give her whatever she wants. Pay attention to your body as a female. It has been ignored for centuries, right? Like, we've just been thrown off into like, we can't understand you, so just like figure it out on your own. Oh, take all these drugs, mess up your body some more, right? Like, let's intuitively, as women, we were born with these beautiful, wonderful, intuitive feelings and thoughts within us, and tune into them. But with that, we also have to be careful of being paranoid. Like, what's my body showing me? Like, do I have something wrong with me? And thinking about it over and over and over again, when really we should think about, like, what energy am I holding in this center? What energy is here? If I if I have a stomach ache, if I tune in and I get a stomach ache, right? That would send me into like, okay, what do I need to pay attention in my solar plexus, right? My intuitional center, that yellow chakra that I have. If I open myself up and want to receive messages, and my body starts reacting and I get a tummy ache, the solar plexus is the chakra that I need to say, okay, what's been blocking me? What happened in my past? What's happened in the past month? What's happened in the past year that has been blocking my solar plexus from, and that's my intuition center, right? And a lot of people who have been in relationships with narcissists, their solar plexus is something that they really need to. So I would say that if you have been with a narcissist for a long time and you have a lot of stomach issues, I would pay attention to how to heal the solar plexus chakra. I would wear yellow. I would eat yellow foods. I would wear yellow crystals. I would study the solar plexus chakra, and I would start doing the things that the information that plenty of other beautiful humans have collected over hundreds and hundreds of years, right? There's symptoms, words that you hold in here that if you do the opposite of that, you'll get it flowing again. So when you open your body up, pay attention to what's going on. Don't ask for messages if you're not going to pay attention. Pay attention, and not everything is there's something wrong with me, I need to go see the doctor. Obviously, I believe in doctors. Obviously, I believe in medical care. I am not a doctor. I'm just saying I'm an energetic worker, and I know that energy holds physical symptoms within you. Absolutely. Do you have any questions for the Galactic Federation while they are here? No. Okay. Whew. And they're saying, along with creation, okay, they want to bring forward the root chakra. So today we're talking about chakras. That's what they're also saying, like, this is a new way of living. right? This is a new way of living. This is the new earth. And we can't just say that we live in light and love and we accept everybody and we love everybody and not actually do any like sort of physical work. You're still a 3D physical body, but you also have an energetic system that lives within you. And in the fifth dimension, we're sort of bringing those two together. So we really do have to pay attention to the chakras, okay? And another chakra that humanity really needs to heal is their root chakra. Their base, their home. Where is your home, right? Where is your home? And a lot of people, their homes have been misplaced outside of themselves. We put our homes, we put our base chakras into a lot of people in their families, in their childhoods, in the government, in relationships, in their children. But the healthiest and the most responsible thing to do in the fifth dimension where we are going, in the new earth where we are living, because even though the transition hasn't totally taken effect, I'm going to live as if I already live there. I'm going to live the way I want to live. I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to pay attention to my chakras, and I'm going to take my chakra and my home, my base, my red root chakra, and I'm going to sort of bring all the tendrils in that I have sent out to everybody else, and I'm going to pull them all into myself, and I'm going to connect to the ground, to the earth, right? To Mother Gaia, because it's just another way that us humans have to learn to live.
I think that's beautiful because that's what I do every morning in my spiritual practice is I talk to Mother Gaia first and root myself.
It's a team. We're a team. We live here on Earth, and part of living in the fifth dimension is living in partnership with all the other entities that are here with us. And Mother Gaia is one major entity that lives here with us, right? And if we can just like connect to her every day, she will supply us with all the energy that we need for the day. All you need to do is just make friends with her. Every single entity that we talk about, like I'm a big goddess. I love the goddesses, right? And it's not that I worship them. It's that I make a relationship with them. I'm friends with them. You know, I talk to them. Certain energies help me in certain ways, you know, like when I need to feel refreshed and energetic and alive, I'll go to Lilith, right? Like when I need to feel standing in my power and very energetic mother, I go to Isis, right? Like Hecate is just the way I live my life. She's just, right? And it's not that I'm worshiping these things. It's that we have these energies here for us to connect to, and we're just trained not to do it, but they're literally here to help. And Mother Gaia is one big, giant, energetic supply. Like, put your cord into Mother Gaia. Let's disconnect. Oh, I saw this lovely practice that they want me to bring forward. So I was watching Erin Lyons on YouTube. She's a Galactic channel. And she was doing this practice where in our meditation, picturing this plug, like I'm saying that there's a plug and plugging into Mother Gaia, there's also a plug that plugs us into the matrix, right? And if we imagine that we have this plug in the back of our head, it's a golden plug and it's plugged in to the matrix, right? If you want to feel what it's like to not be plugged into the matrix, try to envision in your meditation just unplugging it. Just like in your meditation, focus on this plug in the back of your head that's plugged you into the matrix and just energetically unplug it. How do you feel? What do you see, right? And all day, remember, that plug is not there, right? All day. I'm out of the matrix. I'm unplugged from the matrix. You'll notice that you'll see nicer people, like the skies are bluer, the grass is greener. You won't sort of run into any like mix-ups. And if they do, they don't really bother you, right? Because you're not engulfed into that programmed human matrix that we're just in it. We're born into it.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so I know, and I'm going to give an example of this. This is how self-aware I've been. I was having a pretty crappy day Monday. It was a pretty crappy day. I was really upset because all the hard work that I had put into my work on Saturday, I show up Monday and it was just gone. It was like just destroyed, and it was like it was all for nothing. And so then my vibration went down low, and then I just came in contact with just crappy people. And and I was talking to one of my other coworkers. We were trying to figure stuff out, and I had a basket that was like, I didn't realize it was kind of blocking the intersection. and I was not tuned into anything around me. I was completely focused on what I was saying to my coworker, and then I just heard some chattering going, and then all of a sudden I heard, "You are in the way." And I turned around and I looked, and there was this lady that was like standing there, and there was a whole bunch of people around, and I'm like, and I just gave her this bland look, and I just kind of like moved my basket, and I turned my head and I looked at, didn't even say anything. I didn't say sorry. I didn't say nothing. I turned around, I looked at my coworker, and she was like mad. And then I had another coworker come up to me and like, "I cannot believe it. That was so freaking rude." And I'm like, but it didn't bother me. Like, I wasn't affected at all by it. And I started thinking, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, boy, in the past, I would have really been upset over that. I would have been like upset the whole night. Like, I would be like physically attacked. Like, I'd be carrying this energy of like despair over that interaction. But I'm like, I didn't even care. I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, what just happened? And then later on, I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, you know what I did? I'm like, when my vibration went down, I came in contact with low vibrational people. And I'm like, but the fact that it did not bother me like it would have was like so like relieving.
That's to show you, look how far you've come. It would have normally like sent you, like you would have like been mad for a few days. Like, I can't believe, like, wow, yeah, but it didn't even bother you.
No, and I didn't say sorry. I didn't say nothing. Before, I would have been like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and I didn't even say. I just kept that look on my face, like, you could have just went around me. Like, I was like, I didn't even care, and I just.
This is also a reminder. My beautiful friend Dedra works at a very big retail store that we all know and love. Be nice to the workers. Damn it. Be nice to people.
We understand that you have things to do.
It's not their fault.
No. We understand, and this is for a short time. I have an end date. I was there to complete a goal, and my goal is almost finished. Thank God. Thank the universe. But the thing is that I have much more respect. This is what I have learned. I have more respect for the people that go there every day and work hard and are treated like they do not matter. They are treated like they are just maids to the system, and that you can act and be disrespectful, and you can pick up things and just put it wherever you think you want to put it, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just going to leave a little gift for the workers because it's their job to clean up after you." I'm going to tell you, have more respect. Have more respect. Treat people the way you'd want to be treated, because eventually all that stuff comes back to you. You're going to be treated the same way one day.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure this is part of my karma too.
It's training you. I mean, look how far you come from when you started to where you are now. You were very flustered in the beginning every single day. And now you've come to a place where like, they're in a low vibration. I'm not gonna, or noticing like when you're in a low vibration, it might affect you more often. Whereas if you're in a high vibration and you're saying, maybe they had a bad day. Maybe she had a bad life. Maybe she, like I have more compassion for people, and then it helps you to feel better. But sometimes there's just jerks.
Yes.
Sometimes people are jerks.
They are. I come across those people too the other day at lunch. But you know what? I have compassion. I have understanding, and I do have love for people. But there's just some that I just do not vibrate with, and I can love you from afar and respect you from afar, but I don't have to have you in my life.
Yeah. Okay, so they want to bring up one more chakra, but they want to finish the root chakra. Okay, so they're saying you have to ground into Mother Earth. That's what we're going to take all of our plugs back. We're not putting our home into other people, into other places, into other things. Our home is right here. My home is with me wherever I go. I am my own home. I am my own ground. I am my own base. I am my own root. Um, so, and then taking that cord and digging it into Mother Gaia and just really asking her to supply you with the energy that you need for the day. Just like really fill you up, right? She's a plug, she's electricity. Plug into her, create a relationship with her, and then it'll make you more aware of the things that she's doing for you, right? Like you'll see flowers, beautiful flowers blooming out of nowhere. You'll look up and the tree is growing all these beautiful little blooms, right? If you're tuned in to Mother Gaia, she is also going to show you gifts throughout your day. You're just going to pay attention to them more because you're now connected with her. Whereas before, like, yeah, whatever, it's tulips, big deal, right? But when you're tuned in and you're touched in and you're plugged into Mother Gaia, it's, oh my gosh, look at them. They're so beautiful, you know? Like, she grew that. She grew that, right? For us to look at, you know? Okay. So the next chakra they're bringing through, and I know this because I've been coughing all episode and I don't have a cough right now. So the throat chakra, all right? And a lot of it is overactive and underactive, okay? We have to find that that medium, right? Like a lot of us, maybe we say too much, right? Maybe we always want to help people and always want to give people advice, and we're always going and going and going, right? And maybe some of us are like, we hear things, we feel things, but we keep our mouth shut. We don't say anything. Maybe sometimes we are being bullied and it's our life lesson. Maybe you've carried like this trauma in from another lifetime. Maybe it is your lifetime to speak up. Oh, what was that?
I don't know, but that's not the first time that I've heard it.
That was a weird noise. I just got goosebumps. Okay, so throat chakra. You will know what side of the spectrum you're on if you're really self-aware, right? A lot of us know that we want to help people all the time. Shut the hell up. It's not your job. It's not your job. Unless people are asking for your help. Now, as a channel, as a psychic, as a medium, this is a big lesson that I had to learn. Like, you can't just be going and giving all your shit away for free all the time. It's exhausting, right? And maybe people don't want your advice, right? Just because you have these beautiful divine messages, just because you receive them, doesn't mean that the person on the outside wants them, right? So even as someone who came here to do this for a living, I have had to learn to keep my mouth shut. Shut up. Just shut up. If they don't ask, they don't want to know, right? They don't want to know, right? So, and the other thing is know when to speak up. Quit keeping your voice small, right? You know that you have big things to say. You know you have divine ideas. You know you have this intelligence within you. And I feel like if your throat chakra, like... I feel like people who hold their throat chakra back and need to speak more would have more throat infections. They would have sore throats a lot. Not so much coughs. The coughing, I think, is the opposite. If you have like a cough or bronchitis a lot, I feel like you need to shut the hell up, right? You're talking too much. But on the opposite end, if you have sore throats, if you have like infections, or you have nodes, or you have like things that grow, cysts, speak more. So pay attention to, I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. 4 chakras, right? They're saying the base, your root. They're saying the sacral, your creative center. They're saying your solar plexus, your intuitional center. Pay attention to what your gut is telling you. Stop letting your monkey mind convince you that your gut is wrong. Your physical body is going to tell you before your mind will. Your mind is an animal. This is a spiritual part of you. Your gut feeling is a spiritual part of you. It is speaking to you. And then the throat chakra, but they're also saying the heart chakra. They're saying the 5th dimension, we need to just really open ourselves up and pay attention to the chakras. The chakras will tell you everything you need to heal about yourself. If you really start researching and reading and learning like what symptoms an underactive and an overactive chakra has, and start fixing them. That's healing, right? It's healing. It's giving yourself what you need. If you have an overabundance of this, you need to calm it down. You need to give yourself this, right? So chakras, open yourself up to the chakras and start studying them. And along with that, crystals, right? Crystals are one of the easiest ways to sort of tune your body in to what frequency you want to be in. If you are lonely and you need love, wear some rose quartz, right? If you are anxious and you need to calm down, wear some amethyst, right? Like, crystals hold frequencies that will infuse into your body. And it does take awareness too. You know, you also have to be aware of the things that are going inside of you. So awareness is what they're saying. Be aware. Chakras, energetic, like, just, it's time to heal. And you can heal yourself, but you got to be aware. You really have to be aware.
I love that.
Yeah. And then I pulled 2 cards really quick, and we got manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. I mean, that's so true. What you're vibrating at is exactly what you're going to receive, right? So if I am in a place where I feel happy and I feel energetic and I feel beautiful and I feel healthy and I feel healed and I feel whole, those are the exact experiences I'm going to bring to me. But if I'm lacking something, I'm living in the vibration of lack, I'm living in the vibration of sadness, of depression, of anger, of jealousy, I'm gonna attract more bad things to me. That's the vibrational difference. Manifestation power, like, what you want, bring it to you. But you got to match it, right? If I want to be a millionaire, I got to do what it takes to have millionaire energy, right? Like, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take energy. It's going to take focus. It's going to take drive, right? You're not an instant millionaire. You got to get to the vibration of millionaire. So manifest anything that you desire, but keep going. When it doesn't come right away, you just got to keep going and going and going. It's like a muscle. We have never lived in a 5th dimension before. We've never lived here before. We've never lived with this energy. So if you're new to the game and you're just now catching on, it's going to take a while. Manifestation sometimes isn't instant. You just got to keep going. And it's a practice, and get into it. And the last card is take your power back. And that, to me, is the root chakra. Stand in your own power. Stand in your own root. Stand in your own frequency. You, not depending on everybody else around you. How does everybody around you make you feel? Doesn't matter. Stand in your own power, in your own root, in your own frequency. Anything else?
That was beautiful. I felt like I was in school. I was like really learning some stuff here.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it back whenever you post it.
Yeah.
Every time you post one of these, like, we used to spend, after we record, we used to sit and watch it, because when I'm channeling, I don't remember what I say. But I love not watching it, and then when you post it, I watch it for the first